Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whenever this video finds you, I hope you're having a rad time. I'm the Figure Dude, and today we have the second part of my top 60 customs in my collection. Without further ado, let's talk about some figures. Dude. Welcome back. Today we have part 2, and that's going to be 50 through 41 of my collection. And last week we had 60 through 51, a lot of customs that I enjoyed particularly. But as we get through the countdown, we're going to have customs that I obviously like a little bit more for random reasons. It might just be I've enjoyed someone's matches a little bit more recently. It might be the work that went into it at the time. It might be how it came out. It might be because it's simple and clean and I just think it looks really good. No specific criteria. It was just how I was feeling, and if I redid this list immediately after I went through all of my customs, it would probably look different. But I tried my best to narrow down and order these from 60 all the way down to 1. So today, starting at number 50, we have Team Angle, and I had a lot of fun making these. I pushed them off for a long time before I made them, just because there was so much that was going to go into them, as far as formula, painting skin tone, just a lot of things. And like I said, I like them, but the reason that they're low on the list is because I know that I can do a better job. I think this was the first time I had painted that skin tone for Shelton Benjamin. I made the Charlie Haas a little bit taller than I would have liked to, and I just think if I redid it, it'd be a lot cleaner, and that's about it. I had fun, I had fun doing all the decals. They were challenging. Both of these, just in general, were tough, but I think they turned out decent, but I know I can do better. So we have Shelton Benjamin, Charlie Haas, Team Angle, and they are going to be number 50. Next up at number 49 is going to be my custom Jeff Jarrett, and this one had a head sculpt from Head Gimmicks, which I think is really nice. The hair on it is has a lot of texture, so it made it really easy to dry brush and get the just like dyed blonde look that I was going for with the Jeff Jarrett. And besides the head sculpt just looking good, I thought the paint application on it came out really well, and then the formula was fun to kind of figure out. So I used a Tyson Kidd base, and then the lower legs they might have been from like an Iron Sheik figure. They're the Arn Anderson size calves, but they're in that tan skin tone. So I don't remember if they were from Iron Sheik or who else has those ones, but the boots I just painted up, and then the torso I used the Stone Cold size torso. So it may have come from like a British Bulldog or something. Obviously it's got a shirt on, and I cut that shirt so it was a little bit shorter, didn't cover up all of the tights there. And I wanted Jeff Jarrett for a long time. We did get one from AW. That's his current look, which I think looks good. I still need to pick that up. We're supposed to be getting one from Zombie Sailor Toys, which is going to have his longer hair look with the pant, like his pants and the like vest thing. I don't know what that was called. And I haven't seen anywhere we are getting a version like this. So I went ahead and made us kind of that like Attitude Era WCW Jeff for me. But I really like this one and really don't have any complaints besides maybe like adding a cloth goods shirt. So number 49 is Jeff Jarrett. Next up, number 48 and 47 is going to be Buff Bagwell, and then the Kurt Angle we have here. So Buff Bagwell, this is the NWO look for him, and I did make his like red attire, which is like the classic attire I think of with Buff Bagwell. And then I made this one later to go with the NWO collection of mine. And then I don't remember why, but I scrapped that buff Bagwell, and now I happen to get another head sculpt of his, so I'm going to be going back, redoing that formula a little bit, and making that again. So I wanted to go with my NWO buff here. It's obviously an Ultimate Edition. It's a Jax head sculpt that I didn't repaint, so it's a little bit off, but it's not awful. The formula was like a Apollo Crews thighs with DDP lowers, and then the Kevin Owens size kick pads, and then Kurt Angle here was an Ultimate Edition head sculpt, I think is where that came from, and then I just repainted a Kurt Angle body that we already had. So with that one, it was kind of difficult. The decals were just clear, so I repainted the torso and painted the singlet all white, and then used the clear decals that had the stars. I think I just used those from 3XR decals library, printed those on the clear paper, and then placed the stars over it. So both of these did have a work in progress Wednesday where I went through everything. I am going to start, I've been bad about not putting logos on knee pads and elbow pads, so I'm going to kind of just like slowly go back and add that to figures, which I think just adds a lot to it. 3XR does a really good job with those really small details, so that's kind of one thing I want to focus on going into this next year making customs. But that is going to be number 48 Buff Bagwell and 47 Kurt Angle. Oh, we gotta adjust for, next up, number 46 and 45 is my WrestleMania 19 Shawn Michaels, as well as my fixed up Undertaker here. And the Undertaker is, I debated putting on the list just because I didn't do a lot to it, but what I did, I felt like added a lot to the figure. So this was I think it was a SummerSlam Elite maybe. The torso I really like, but it was just plain. There was no texture, like nothing to it. So I did a dark wash on it, and then I dry brushed it with some white to really give it that like stressed jean kind of look. And then I took a Jax head and threw that on there because I thought it looked a lot better than the head sculpt that they did put on it. And the first one was one we'd seen a lot, and they just made his hair red instead of giving us a new sculpt. And I liked the bandana, the ponytail look. It's not the same kind of like wash and texture that I would put when I paint, but I still appreciate that Jax put something into it, and I thought it was a really good likeness. So this is kind of my favorite version of my like American Badass Undertaker in my collection, at least. And then Shawn Michaels, it's his WrestleMania 19 look, and this head sculpt was actually one of the Ultimate Editions, and I used some Billy Gunn hair to give him that short hair look before we got the most recent Survivor Series Shawn. And I do really like that figure in the ugly brown tights, but WrestleMania 19 Shawn is a huge want on my list, and it just seems they kind of avoid some of those ruthless aggression Shawn. So here's to hoping we get more, but until then we have my WrestleMania 19 and WrestleMania 19 Shawn, as well as my Undertaker here, bringing it in at 46 and 45. Next up at 44 is going to be my custom Mustache Mountain. And if you didn't see last week, I talked about tag teams. So if I have a tag team that I like, I put them together. There's some figures, like if it's a trio or a group, then I won't put them together necessarily. But if it's a tag team, especially if their attire is matching, then I'm going to put them on here together because they go together. I think of them as one single unit. And these I did on Work in Progress Wednesday, and these are probably a couple of the most proud customs that I did. When I painted both of these head sculpts, I felt like it was kind of a level up from where I had been with things. So I've always really liked how these turned out, but and I know they were on the list last year. I don't remember where exactly, but I do want to make some more Tyler Bates, and we're supposed to be getting another one in the Elite line that I think is going to match Pete Dunne, but we never got Trent Seven, and we don't have them in matching attires. So I did go ahead, I made my own. The formula I have for Tyler Bate has much larger legs for him, which he might not be that big, but I do think that they look better for like how he is proportioned, because he does have like big, like he's short, but he's got like stocky legs. So I felt like I captured that a little bit better. And then the Trent 7, like I said, we never got a figure from him. So that was fun to piece together. And I just think they both turned out really well. And like I said, I was happy with how I painted the head sculpts. And I also just think in general, they're a good likeness from Heteration here. So there's 44, Mustache Mountain. All right, we are getting close to wrapping up today, but for 43 and 42, we have Alex Hammerstone and Marcus Corvon. So really characters that I don't have like a deep love or tie to, but I was really happy with how the customs turned out. So Marcus Corvon was one I wanted to make because I liked him as, Monty Brown in TNA. He was Monty Brown in TNA and then Marcus Corvon briefly in WWE. But I really liked the formula. Like, I thought it captured his body really well, and the attire and everything just turned out really nicely. It was relatively simple. Like, I painted the torso and his head sculpt a little bit, used it like one of those Batista torsos, and I just felt like it captured him really well. And then same for the Alex Hammerstone. So that head sculpt I thought was really nice, and I thought, again, like I did with Mustache Mountain, thought it came out really well. And I don't have a huge tie to Alex Hammerstone as far as just like watching his matches, especially in MLW. Like I don't watch or didn't watch MLW, but I'd seen like him and Jacob Fatu, is it Mads Kruger? Like I'd seen a few matches and highlights and whatnot, so I did want to make him, and I actually plan to make another Alex Hammerstone because I have been able to watch him a little bit more in TNA. He had his match in NXT, is that against Obafemi, I think. But I talk about the channel, I'm just like going through trying to add everyone I can to the list, and sometimes you I throw something together and I end up loving it, and that is the case with both of these guys. So not huge on my like list of wrestlers I love, but as far as customs go, I like these a lot. So 43, Alex Hammerstone, 42, Marcus Corvon, and then we have one more before we are done today. All right, so these guys are not a tag team. I did cheat a little bit to get these guys on the list together, but when I think of one, I think of the other. So I threw Masato Tanaka and Mike Awesome in here, and Mike Awesome, I do need to add, I'm going to add decals. I don't have his trunk decal on there. I had a different Mike Awesome, and then I got this head sculpt as well as the like mullet look from House 14, and I painted it up, and then just didn't like how it fit on my old custom, and then I did like how it fit on this extra Ultimate Edition Brock Lesnar. So it was a simple one to put together, just painted the head and added the elbow pad essentially. Like I got rid of all the tattoos too, but I think it looks really good. Like he didn't have a lot of, like he had Awesome on his tights. So I'm gonna like add those little details in there. But Masato Tanaka was one that I did on Work in Progress Wednesday, but I used a Sheik torso, some Shawn Michaels arms maybe, and then Chad Gable lower legs. I can't remember where the crotch piece came from, what figure, but I thought that just turned out really well. And like I said, I think when I think of one of these guys, I think of the other. Their ECW matches are awesome as well. Like their One Night Stand ECW match was awesome as well. Like they just stepped right back in the ring like they hadn't skipped a beat, and I couldn't put one on the list without the other. So that is going to be 41. That is going to round out the second chunk of my collection countdown here. So there's more ECW, and I try to get plenty of variants as far as like eras, singles competitors, tag teams, you name it. Like there's a lot to come. So especially as we get down the list, obviously I'm counting down my favorites, so there's going to be a little more excitement. But like I said last week, if there's some that you think should be on the list, something that you think shouldn't be on the list, whatever, if you have an opinion, I'd love to hear it. But until then, we are going to wrap things up today, and I will be back with number 3 next week. So we'll be doing 40 through 31, and hopefully you guys enjoy that just as much. But if you made it to the end, you stuck around through all of my blabbering here, I appreciate it very much. Please continue to like, share, subscribe, and remember, you can't buy happiness, but you can buy more action figures. Figure Dude